Woo! All right. Welcome in to Garbage Time Fantasy Football. You got me, Ron Seymour, Joseph McCann, Ryan Warner, and JJ LaPlante today. And
You
today
guys-
on our what?
You ready to mess up each other's drafts tonight, Ron?
Oh yeah, today on our episode we are going
messed
to
up
do.
Ron's intro there, Joe. So you're in the
Yeah,
spirit.
I know, right? I'm trying to be professional, and he's like, "Nah, we're done with
No.
that already."
No, this is Garbage Time Fantasy Football. We don't do that here.
All right, today on the episode, we are going to be doing a mock draft of sorts, but with our own little twist on it. We're each going to be picking for each spot. Today, we are going to do 1 through 16, but we are each allowed a sabotage where we can tell the person that just picked that player and be like, nah, you're not picking that player. Pick someone new. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys ready?
Yeah, doing that off the top of your head is going to be real fun.
What did I just read? Did I just read Joe Burrow might have his career ended?
What?
What? Are you
Hold
really
on.
breaking news with that? Yeah, you better follow up on that. Was that on Twitter?
That's fake news. Come on.
Did you see an Inquirer magazine in the grocery
I don't
store?
know. It just popped up on my computer.
Vanity.
No, I think it might have actually been a Discord chat.
Is TMC reporting on this?
No. All right. Well, we'll stand by on that one, see if anything else pops up anywhere.
Moving on.
I think the news was like they did their new jersey stuff today. They showed off their new uniforms, and everyone saw like the scar on his knee where he had the ACL surgery. I think that's probably it.
Maybe. I saw it
gonna-
ended.
That's right, Ron. When
Anyway,
so when you see fake news, just ask JJ about it first.
well, I just I just saw a quick glance on the corner of my screen on a pop-up. That's all I saw. All right, Joe, why don't you go and run through our two little bits of news, then we'll jump right into this mock draft.
All right, we haven't had an episode in 2 weeks, but that's because this is usually the slow part of the year. We kind of came up with this original idea and thought it would be
And
fun.
we all work.
Yeah, and we all work and have lives. So anyway, the two little bits of news today that we want to talk about is Alex Smith's retirement. He really never had that much of fantasy relevance anyway. So, this is just out of respect that we'll talk about that. And then we also want to address the Cardinals a few days ago adding James Conner to the roster, which really could compete with Chase Edmonds' carries on his roster. So, if you're looking at him in drafts in a few months down the roads, it's something to consider.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think James Conner jumps into that Kenyon Drake role?
I do.
Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna get double-digit touches at least weekly. I think Edmonds is a really good third down back, a pass catcher. I don't think they want to pound him 20 times a game. And I think Connor will probably shut up, Ron. I think Connor will probably get like all the goal line carries and like 12 to 15 carries a game.
So he'll be like first, second down and goal line back while Chase Edmonds takes over the third down back / like 2-minute drill type stuff.
Yeah, and everyone thinks James Conner like he's washed up. He's been injured. It's so weird. He's still only 25 years old. So I don't know. I think he's got a little bit left, and he'll do okay out there.
If he could stay healthy, I think he's still got enough.
Yep.
Well, if he doesn't get pounded that much, he'll stay healthy.
Right. If he stops getting pounded so often.
It's a common expression.
Yes, it is.
About running backs.
You're right. It is the common expression. You are right, JJ.
Anyway.
By the way, this is not your mother's podcast. Who is the other guy?
Alex Smith's retirement.
Oh, wasn't there another running back or something? Oh, Jordan Howard to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty much nothing anyways. I think
The only thing it'll do is take a few carries away from Miles.
Yeah, I don't think that's big. You want to get into this draft?
Let's get on it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so tonight actually we're going to do picks 1 through 16, and each one of us get a sabotage for those 1 through 16. And on the second part of this mock draft, we will also get a sabotage.
Truth. Very good. So we did make a rule though, since Trevor Lawrence is pretty much unanimously the number 1 overall pick. We can't sabotage that. I don't think anybody decided to go anywhere different with that either, right?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Well, I mean, Jacksonville did give him their playbook already, so I think we're pretty solid.
And his
Isn't that
wife's
illegal?
his wife's like doing charity work for Jacksonville already.
Wait, isn't it like illegal, like against the CBA for them to give him the playbook?
Not if you don't get caught.
You
We're-
just threw him under the bus.
We're
They
breaking all
only
kinds of
told-
news tonight. that
They
isn't
only
real.
told Joe, and he just ruined it for the whole team.
Right, they only told Joe.
It's fake news, guys, okay?
But Joe
All
McCann,
right,
he
so
did
we'll
keep a
get right
secret.
to pick number 2, which is the New York Jets. JJ, go ahead with your pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of Trevor Lawrence-esque, but Zach Wilson, executive has been quoted saying the draft starts after 2 because the first 2 picks are guaranteed Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU.
Smokescreen.
Smokescreen.
All right, so you got Zach Wilson going to the Jets at 2. Joe, we'll go with you.
Well, the Jets fan, Ron, will tell you that is not going to be a smokescreen because Zach Wilson is going to come to us and hopefully bring us to the promised land, unlike any other quarterback that's been here for the last 25 years. So Zach Wilson from BYU going to the Jets with pick number 2.
Listen, I would like to pick someone else here since we're up to me now, but I do feel that Justin Fields is actually the better prospect, but just wouldn't be the Jets' way. So yeah, I'm picking Zach Wilson.
Well, you know, if we were feeling really gamey, we could sabotage you, so you have to pick Justin Fields. But I'm not.
I mean, if you wanted to, I'm pretty sure that's who I would pick, but
Yeah, no, we're not going to do it there.
not gonna do it. A little too early for you.
Yeah,
All
got to
right,
do it with a
Ryan,
little
go
bit
ahead.
of flavor.
All right, and I won't do any differently than the first 3. I was only sure of 2 picks in this draft, and that was Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson going to the Jets.
I'm
So
sure
that
of
is a
all 32.
consensus of the 4 of us and everyone in the world. Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence
right,
and Zach
yeah.
Wilson.
All right, JJ with the 3rd pick with the 49ers on the clock now, right?
Yes, sir. Wait, should we talk about Zach Wilson for a second, Joe? What do you think his fantasy relevance is in year 1 with the Jets?
I don't think it's going to be much fantasy relevance if we don't end up fixing that offensive line because the interior offensive line on our team is horrible. If we end up fixing that in spot 23 and 34, which I believe we're at least going to take one at one of those 2 spots, he could have a little bit of relevance. But if he doesn't develop quickly, I don't see him being very relevant. I could see him maybe coming off your bench, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in him being very statistically good for fantasy football in his rookie year.
All right.
All right. Do we want to move on now?
You're the
Yeah,
host.
Oh, throw that at me. All right, let's move on to pick number 3 now with the 49ers. We are up to JJ.
The 3rd pick in the NFL 2021 NFL Draft, 49ers select Trey Lance, North Dakota. It's definitely going to be a quarterback. The mystery is which one of the 3 is it going to be, Fields, Lance, or Mac Jones? And I just think that they're going to roll with Jimmy G for 1 year and take the raw product Lance and let him sit for a full NFL season, school him up, and then unleash him in 2022.
Or until Garoppolo gets injured.
Did you guys hear that Vegas
Week
actually
3.
has Justin Fields the favorite for that pick? And that was like 5 days after they had Mac Jones being the favorite for that pick.
Yep.
I honestly just don't think anyone knows what the 49ers are going to do with that pick.
Nope.
Yeah, neither do I.
Anyway, now that we're on the 3rd pick, I'm up for that. So
Yep.
Honestly, I believe Trey Lance is a smokescreen. I do think the 49ers are going to end up picking Mac Jones here with the 3rd overall pick. So the Alabama kid is going to the Shanahan offense.
All right. Oh, I like how he has to type in ours. These are all nice and pretty.
Mhm.
I
There's gonna
would
be
copy
White.
and paste mine, but then I'd give away the rest of my picks, and I don't want anyone.
It's all right. When we get the sabotage, you'll put a nice red line through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we're up to me with the third pick for the 49ers. I'll say Trey Lance. I might just be because I know they went to his pro day again, his second pro day. He is. I have heard, that he's pretty close to. Fits really good in Shanahan's system. So they really think that that's why they'll take him over other people. Ryan?
All right. Yeah, so I definitely think, like JJ said, I think it was, they definitely take a quarterback here. I have them taking Mac Jones. I just think that's who they're going to go with. I think he could fit well in that system. So I think that's who they're going to pick.
2 for Jones, 2 for Lance.
Interesting.
We're probably all wrong.
I watch it be Justin Fields. All right, with the fourth pick of the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock, and JJ's on the clock to pick for him.
Well, actually, they're not because I have a trade.
Oh,
Interesting.
oh my God. No way.
I have
Spoiler
the
alert.
Broncos trading up for Justin Fields at number
Spoiler
4.
alert, that was my exact thing.
No, it wasn't.
I swear to God. I'm like, the Broncos are going to trade up 2-4, get the quarterback. Justin Field will probably still be there.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be.
It's either going to be them or the Patriots trading up to that spot.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears. I mean, obviously, that makes sense for them to do it, but I don't think they have the capital to get up that
Yeah,
high.
they're not high enough. Yeah.
So, yeah, I got
Alright.
the Broncos trading up and selecting Justin Fields.
All right, Joe, go ahead and make your pick.
Well, that's interesting that you included the New England Patriots as a trade-up option here, because I actually have the Patriots trading up to number 4 and selecting Justin Fields right here.
Ooh.
So Justin Fields is going to be going to throw balls with Bill Belichick up in Boston.
In Boston. Yeah, I kept going back and forth. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, I don't know. Have we ever, the last time they traded up for, what didn't they trade up for the wide receiver there?
Yeah, we traded up for N'Keal Harry.
And that didn't,
That worked out
didn't work
great.
out. Worked out real well.
Oh, they're saying he may not make the roster.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, it's up to you because I already said I was doing the trade.
So I also have New England trading up into this, but a typical Bill Belichick type of curveball. I have us taking Trey Lance
Oh.
at number 4. I think Trey Lance just has that raw talent. Given Billy Belichick, maybe he sits behind Newton for a year. I don't know, but I just see the Patriots taking him.
Bang.
Brady
So
agrees
we're all,
with you.
So
we're all in agreement
everybody
that the
had-
Falcons are not taking a pick at 4.
Nope. That is incredible.
I don't know. It's 50-50, I think.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a little bit, but I don't know. I can definitely see them staying too. But crazy, we all have 4 quarterbacks going in the first 4 picks in the draft.
I believe that's actually going to happen. Even if the
Definitely.
Falcons stay there, it wouldn't shock me if they also took a quarterback.
No,
Yeah,
I think if they do stay there, it'll be Justin Fields too.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe that if they stay at 4, they will take a quarterback. They need one for the future.
Out of these 3 quarterbacks, 2, 3, and 4, who do you guys think is going to have the most fantasy relevance for their team should they end up on any of these 3 teams?
If Justin Field goes to the Broncos, dude could be a baller. They've got the defense to keep them in games so he doesn't have to go crazy throwing the ball. Melvin Gordon's still a decent running back. And they've got weapons on weapons on weapons in that offense.
I think the
I do
49ers may have better weapons, but I don't know. I think Fields and Lance are probably more projects, and especially if they go, I don't know. He'd probably start, but I just think that Fields and Lance are best off sitting a year, and Wilson's just going to come in and start off 16 or 17.
If they trade up to 4, they're going to start him.
Yeah, they'll say
that's exactly what I feel
thing.
like with the 49ers too. They traded a lot away. Jimmy G might start the year, but by week 5 or 6, it'll be the Trey Lance show, whether it be injury or just they got to see what they got.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Pick number 5 is the Cincinnati Bengals. JJ, who'd you pick for him?
Yeah, I'm giving away my other picks, but I got
It doesn't really matter.
the big deal, all right?
How do I scroll?
I'm used to my other work computer, right? I'm taking
or how Ryan would say, how did we get here?
How did we get here?
I'm taking Penny Sewell for the Bengals. Just makes too much sense. He's going to be their tackle for the next 10 to 15 years. By far the best tackle in this draft. Saw Burrow tear his ACL. I think there's a lot of temptation there to take Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, but I just think that you take a franchise left tackle when there's one sitting there for you. So Penny Sewell of Oregon for the Bengals.
All right, that's pretty interesting, but I also think this trade's going to get picked, and the Bengals are not going to be selecting here. I think the Broncos are going to trade up to this pick and select Trey Lance. So I've got 5 quarterbacks going in the first 5 picks, and it's the first time it's ever going to happen.
Joe, with a hot take.
5 quarterbacks, first 5 picks. So in my pick, that will drop the Bengals down to number 9.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to kind of keep an eye on that as we're going, so
Yeah,
JJ doesn't get crazy.
I actually ended up changing that today. Initially, I thought they were also going to take Penny Sewell there, but I saw the Broncos also were at Trey Lance's workout today, and there's a lot of smoke in how interested they are in him too, and I think they've been paying a lot of attention to him, so I think they're going to get that itch and want to get up there to get him.
Okay. So we have Penny Sewell, Trey Lance, and we are on to Ron.
We're on to me here. I've gone back and forth. I thought that the Patriots might trade up here. Or wait, yeah, the Patriots might trade up here to get Mac Jones. But now I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna keep the Bengals here, and they are gonna take Penei Sewell. It's hard to find good left tackles.
Yes,
So, and like you said, they're going to want to protect Joe Burrow, help their run game. So, I think they stay put.
all right. Ryan?
Yep, Sewell for all the reasons that Ron and JJ have already listed. So I have the Bengals taking him.
Very nice.
Now we're on to pick 6, right?
Pick 6.
6. Cruising. All right. So we're on to the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins taking Kyle Pitts out of Florida. Generational talent at tight end. I would not be surprised if the Falcons stayed at 4 and they could even take him at 4. He's that high of a prospect. Freak size, freak speed, can catch anything. I think the Dolphins are going to add a weapon here for Tua, try and make his life a little easier. And what's easier and better than a Travis Kelce freakish type tight end? So I think they take Kyle Pitts out of Florida at 6.
JJ, I agree with you that they're going to take a weapon, but they're not going to in your draft. I'm using my sabotage on you right here. So select another player. So you're going to be selecting another player.
Okay. See, this is tough because I assigned all these players down here. I gotta try and figure someone else. Well, if they're not taking Kyle Pitts, then they're probably going to take Jamar Chase. right? It's got to be between those two guys at this spot. So I'm going to do an old switcheroo.
Are you?
Whoops, kind of giving away my pick, but
Oh,
Well, I
gonna-
mean, you're going to have to
weird.
readjust the whole board now. So
I am putting Jamar Chase at 6, courtesy of Joe's rude sabotage. So, yes, as I was saying, the Dolphins will be selecting a weapon for Tua, and that is clearly going to be Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver in this draft class. So, on to you, Joe.
well, I may have started the bleeding here, which kind of scares me because I feel like I'm going to be the next target up now. But so at number 6, I've got the Dolphins also selecting Jamar Chase. I think they're going to opt to not go for the tight end, and they're going to want to give their young quarterback a wide receiver. So Jamar Chase, number 6 to the Dolphins.
I thought that I went back and forth on these guys, and I
Mhm.
just think about like Brian Flores, and there's like, I mean, he's like an old school tough defensive coach, and there's just been like reports of Jamar Chase maybe having some character issues, big attitude.
Mhm.
So I don't know how well that fits with Flores, but there's no denying his talent. So I would not at all be surprised.
And you just don't have a choice and have to pick him now.
Yeah, I just mocked him there. So
So now we're on to Ron.
All right. What was the team again? The Dolphins?
yes,
Super prepared, guys. Super prepared. All right. Who do I want to go to the Dolphins? Where'd my list go? I'm pretty sure.
You don't even have to
Yeah.
sabotage Ron. He's sabotaging himself.
Yeah. I just wanted to double check and make sure that I actually knew what I wanted to do. And I also have Jamar Chase. I feel like they have Gesicki, who's definitely not Kyle Pitts. They need a wide receiver that can change the game, not a tight end that can change the game. Gesicki is good enough to where you bring in a true number one wide receiver, he might start showing a little bit more flashes and being serviceable enough to where you don't have to pick a tight end this high.
Are you meaning that he may actually be more fantasy relevant than 2 tight end deep when we actually look at fantasy drafts?
What?
Sorry, word spaghetti. Do
Yeah.
you think this pick would elevate him high enough to where he's actually going to have relevance? Because right now there's only really 2 tight ends that separate themselves for fantasy drafts right now, to where he's going to elevate to a level where he's going to be maybe just below them.
Oh, Gesicki?
Yes.
Here's my thing. I'm going to have a hard time trusting much when it comes to the Dolphins offense. It makes me think of poor man's Baltimore Ravens offense, where they're going to be throwing the ball for like 200 yards a game and probably be spread out between running backs, tight ends, wide receiver. So the fantasy relevant might not come very much out of that offense.
Oh, so Tua sucks. Gotcha. Okay, moving on.
No, because I don't think Lamar Jackson sucks. I just think that that's the type of offense they're going to kind of run.
what kind of team gives up Kalen Balaj when they have him? I mean, that's probably why Ron hates the Dolphins.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Remember, 17-week starter.
Yeah, that's your little contingency plan. You're just gonna say, "Oh, he didn't play 17 weeks, so
No, he played 16.
All right, at least 14 weeks. I'll say at least 14 weeks for that.
Well, that's another clip for the Instagram.
instead,
All right,
it's been
Ryan, go with
recorded."
your pick.
Yeah, so I got the Dolphins taking just the best player that's available at this current time for what they need, and I think it's going to be Kyle Pitts.
So,
That boy.
so successfully, only Ryan got Kyle Pitts to them.
on you, Joe.
Um,
And just as we can't be any more professional, my smoke detector just decides to start dying behind me. So get a little
You can
beep in the
always-
background.
rip that off the wall.
So if I do that, I won't remember to change it, and it's right outside the baby's room. So I probably should do that. But
All right, adds flavor to the episode.
It had
Yes.
flavor.
all right.
All right. So moving on, we are on to the pick number 7, the Detroit Lions.
Yes,
It looks like you got Kyle Pitts there, JJ. Is that
I
staying?
do. I do have Kyle Pitts here now. I think 6 and 7. The Lions could trade out if one of the quarterbacks fall, because I think the Bengals are a lock to make their pick at 5. And I don't think the Dolphins will trade again in the first round, but I think the Lions could move out of this spot. But if they don't, I think they take whichever skill position player that the Dolphins didn't take. And obviously here I have Kyle Pitts. But doesn't make as much sense because they picked TJ Hawkinson at 8 overall a couple years ago. So to take another tight end at 7 overall, I don't know if they'll do that. That's why I thought
Was that last year?
it was 2 years ago. I
Was
think.
it 2 years?
Yeah, 2019, Hawkinson got drafted. But I think they'll take the best skill position player available. They lost Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay both, so they definitely need some receiving help. So, okay, give me Kyle Pitts here. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right, Ryan,
Welcome.
or not Ryan, Joe, I mean.
I'm glad I could help you, JJ. And I also agree with another one of your takes about I don't believe Detroit would end up taking Kyle Pitts at this spot, and he's still available in my draft. So I actually see the Lions trading out of this spot and giving it to the Dallas Cowboys, who are going to trade up for Kyle Pitts.
Oh man, that is a savage offense if that happens.
And that's
As
what
a
I kind of.
Giants fan, I'm not excited about that.
Yeah, no,
And
I
I'm going to go
don't-
ahead and sabotage that right now.
Oh, you're just not going to let us have that dream, huh?
No, I don't want that even in as a possibility. Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess if that pick's going to go back to the Lions, I guess I'll have them picking Devontae Smith,
Ooh.
which I think would be an interesting fit for them. They are very depleted at wide receiver. So I think that's something that actually could happen. Although I would have really liked to got my Dallas trade up there. But thanks, Ron. Anyway, on to you.
And what's great about that is now you don't have a sabotage to re-sabotage me at all. So that makes me happy.
I'm glad you both have used your sabotage. Now I just have Ryan to worry about.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, you're welcome. You are welcome.
I'll remember that for 16 through 32.
All right, so we got the Detroit Lions on the clock. I'm torn here because I feel like this is a team that is in full rebuild mode. I think they did the trade with Stafford and Goff there. I don't think they believe Goff can actually win them anything more than a handful of games. The defense is not great.
It's terrible.
All right, if you want to say it that way.
And Mitch Trubisky's a bitch. So
That's fair.
Yeah, see, it made Mitch Trubisky look like a good person.
oh, he's a great person. He's an average player. All right.
That's what I meant, a good player. I think they focus. You know what I'm going to do? Last year they drafted a cornerback, correct? That's when they took
Akuda.
Akuda. Well, they're going to take another quarterback this year. They're going to take cornerback Caleb Farley.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. 6'2", 207. I think they doubled down on that position. If they both live up to their potential, they could have two very good corners for
Virginia Tech. That's nice.
Virginia Tech.
Niagara Tech.
This is why I like doing this on the fly, because I'm going to start making these types of picks. Like,
You better
won't
hope
have
that
time.
you just better hope that he stays healthy all year, man. He's got some back problems.
if I have time to think about these, I'm going to change my mind 8,000 times. So I was
All right,
actually
Ryan.
I was actually thinking about having the Patriots straight up right there, but I don't think they'll need to.
But you didn't, so moving on to Ryan.
Yeah.
All
I was just,
right.
talking through my shit,
So the Lions lost some weapons this offseason. I see them working on fixing that and taking Jamar Chase here.
Nice.
Man, Kyle Pitts 6 and Jamar Chase 7. Sounds so good. All right. That brings us back to yours truly, and this is going to be the news of the draft here. This is
Oh, the Panthers
Oh.
are up.
executive.
it.
We got a trade coming in, number 8 here. Certain team picking back in the 20s has traded up. That team is the Chicago Bears.
Oh boy.
They made a move for a quarterback, and they draft Mac Jones, Alabama, at 8 overall.
Wow.
You know
What type of haul do you think they had to give?
Probably 3 first-round picks.
Really?
Similar to their package for Russell Wilson that they sent. I'm going to guess first-round pick in 22 and 23.
Wow.
About
Not
12
bad.
spots.
You know who he really reminds me of, JJ? And I don't think you would be disappointed with this.
Who?
He really reminds me of a young Chad Pennington before his injuries, who actually could throw downfield. He's very accurate. I think if you guys get him the right weapons, if you actually do trade for him, that could be a really good fit for you.
Yeah, and I think he would actually start the year on the bench too behind Dalton, at least for the first quarter of the season, and let him develop and then go from there. If the Bears offense isn't a dumpster fire like it always is. So, but with Chicago, their fans are very impatient, so they'll just boo Dalton off the field on opening day, and
Right.
Mike
Yeah.
Jones would probably
Right.
play
Yeah.
immediately before he's ready.
So, JJ, should we get you your Mac Jones jersey now or wait until after the draft?
Probably after the draft because he'll probably go in the top 5, but I can
All
dream.
right, Joe, go ahead and make your pick.
All right, just out of spite because Ron sabotaged me now, I've got the Dallas Cowboys trading up to number 8 with the Carolina
Ooh.
Panthers, and they're selecting Kyle Pitts. So there goes your sabotage. I just flushed it right down the toilet. It's just in a different spot.
All right.
So enjoy Kyle Pitts on the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Oh my! I would be so upset with life.
That is just dangerous.
Everything in my gut tells me that's such a Jerry Jones move, and I think it's going to happen.
I don't want it.
Well, you already sabotaged me, so
Come
you
on,
got
Ryan.
He's not sabotaging that. He loves that pick.
All right. So it's the Carolina Panthers on the clock. And I, too, the Panthers are extremely excited right now to have Kyle Pitts fall to them at 8.
You mean the Dallas Cowboys?
Stop it. So I have the Panthers taking Kyle Pitts here at 8, giving Sam Darnold a good tight end to open up that offense a bit.
Okay, it could be interesting. Got a lot
All
of
right,
receivers.
Ryan. Oh yeah, with they've got good receivers, and
All
there's
right,
this
so I have
guy.
the Panthers.
There's this guy in the backfield called Christian McCaffrey.
Never heard of him.
No,
No.
pretty good. You should look him up.
All right.
Speaking of Christian McCaffrey, I have the Panthers improving their offensive line, taking the second best lineman in the draft, and taking Slater here.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Rashawn Slater.
Very interesting. Did you see my pick when I screen flashed?
No.
We don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Next pick. Next on the clock, number 9, Denver Broncos. Except
So
for some
obviously,
people.
I did the trade here, and I have the Broncos selecting J.C. Horn, or not the Broncos. I'm sorry, the Falcons now on this pick. So I have the Falcons taking J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. He absolutely crushed his pro day. Big physical corner, son of Joe Horn. So that will really devastate Saints fans to have their biggest rival draft Joe Horn's son. But it just makes too much sense. The Falcons are pretty square on offense. They could add a lineman, but obviously they don't need skill position players. And it's too early for a running back. So I think they're going to go defense and take Horn out of South Carolina.
Interesting. All right, so with my pick here at where are we at? Number 9. So
Yep.
in mine that would be the Bengals because of the trade. I've got them selecting Rashawn Slater over Penei Sewell for the simple reason that Penei Sewell sat out a year, and I think they're going to be more comfortable taking someone that they saw play last year. And we have seen that in previous drafts where typically a healthier lineman will go before someone that they're unsure of.
Wow.
So
I think you're
Rashawn
wrong.
Slater.
Wow.
So Rashawn Slater from Northwestern to the Bengals.
All right.
That's a hot take.
I've got a few hot takes on here.
I like
Okay.
it. Taking things up, not just your standard mock draft here. We're making moves.
Yeah. Not just straight on the board.
All right. So this is my pick. I did a trade with the Falcons. So you're going to go ahead and put that in there.
Oh, I got it. I'm all over this mock draft and stuff here.
And the Falcons, like JJ alluded to, need help at the defensive side of the ball. One cornerback already went off the board. I'm going to switch it up. I think they're going to take a safety. They're going to take Trevon Moehrig.
9?
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Ron's either going to score 0 points or all the points.
He's going to look like a genius.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty Falcons thing to do. Take a little bit of a reach for a safety.
I didn't know this was the Oakland Raiders selecting at this pick.
Wait till we get to them. I got all the 3rd round prospects up just for the Oakland Raiders pick.
All right.
I think in the perfect world, the Falcons would probably want to move down even further.
Yeah.
Gather more picks. And
I think that would be the
take
shock of
them.
the first round if he actually goes up here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dude, I will shotgun a beer if they select a safety in the first round when you're overrun. Like
I'll shotgun 3 consecutive beers if Moehrig's taken in the top 10 in this draft.
There could be a lot of drunk people. That'd be
I will
fun.
shotgun 0 beers because I'm going to have to drive home from Joe's house.
I also
What a
would try.
responsible young man.
All right, we are up to Ryan now with your pick.
All right, so I had the Broncos not trading, just hanging out where they are, and the wait pays off, and they get who they wanted all along without having to trade up or give away the farm, and they take Justin Fields at number 9.
Oh,
the man
just think it'd
slides,
be-
huh?
I just think it'd be horrible for Justin Fields to fall this far.
Could you just see him with his hands in the green room over his face?
Yeah, just
you know what,
What?
Ryan? I'm not going to let you get away with this.
oh,
I'm calling it a sabotage. There's no way Fields falls to 9.
So Ryan's draft, he falls out of the top 10.
Ouch!
now he's gonna fall even further.
He's
Ouch!
going to fall to 20.
He's not going to get drafted because I don't know where I'm going to put him. He's just going to be an undrafted free agent. All right. Well, because JJ's an asshole, the Broncos are actually completely happy with Drew Lock. This is all a smokescreen. They don't want a quarterback, so they're going to work on their defense and take J.C. Horn here.
That's a good turnaround.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's awful.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I just couldn't allow that to happen.
Oh,
All right.
so now JJ is the only person with a sabotage left.
No, I just used mine.
Oh,
Or
it'd be Ryan.
Ryan, I mean, I'm
Ryan.
sorry. Ryan is the only one with the sabotage left. All right, pick number 10, the Dallas Cowboys for most people.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got him taking Patrick Surtain. I do think that the idea of trading up for Kyle Pitts is really interesting, and I could definitely see him doing that too. But they need help. They had Dak putting up record-setting weeks, and they were still losing all their games because their defense was so trash. And they had good luck picking Trevon Diggs last year out of Alabama in the secondary. So I think they followed suit and picked Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Alabama. Had a really good pro day, grades out really well, big corner. Dad was an NFL player for a long time. Makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's pretty cool because he's going to be playing quarterback over Justin Fields in Ryan's draft. So
That's a fact.
All right. In my draft pick for number 10, the Panthers ended up trading for this pick because, Dallas needed a very, very good tight end. They're going to be selecting Penei Sewell, 10 overall. So Penei Sewell is sliding a little bit in my draft.
Wow.
Bold. That is bold.
Coming with the hot takes.
No.
All right. So Sewell down all the way down to 10.
Yep.
For the Panthers. They would, I'm sure, if they traded back and got Penei Sewell, they may have won the first round of the draft.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. On to Ron. No
All right,
safeties.
So Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. No, I'm right in line with you. They need defense. They need help. They're taking Patrick Surtain.
All right.
I'm right in line with you on that one. They need him.
Does anyone else just feel like Ryan's got a nuclear bomb waiting to go off on someone?
It's probably me at the Giants pick. He's probably waiting to see exactly who I picked. Like, nah.
Boom. Your team's gonna suck forever.
As a person with Cam Newton as a quarterback.
Ooh.
Not for long.
You're definitely getting that sabotage now.
All right, Ryan, who we got?
The same. Patrick Surtain or whatever. For all the same reasons.
Or whatever.
Justin Fields falls farther down the board.
I'm interested now to see where Justin Fields goes on Ryan's board.
So Ryan's just creating all these like trade scenarios.
I would recommend putting him at number 20. That's just me.
Number 20 seems like a good spot.
It's a nice even number.
I mean, the Patriots are coming up. They could. Oh wait, you had him trading up, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, they wouldn't have had to.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
pick number 11 on to the New York Football Giants. JJ, what's your pick?
Yeah, so everyone has the Giants taking a skill position player. And when I look at it, I just don't think that those Alabama receivers are generational receivers that are going to be 1,000-yard receivers every year. I just don't think they're built to last. And I think the Giants, who Ron can tell you about their defense, they want to D up. They got Barkley coming back. I think they want to run the football. I got them going O-line here and taking Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. The
No, you don't.
pick.
Because I'm going to sabotage JJ.
Oh.
Because
I get
that,
2 sabotages? This
that
is
pick-
shitty.
that pick makes way too much sense. So we're just gonna not do it.
Well, what I meant to say is the Giants need help at the skill position. They got Kenny Galladay, but I don't know if that's enough. So I think that they're going to take one of those Alabama receivers that are going to be 1,000-yard receivers for years. And they're going to take Devontae Smith out of Alabama at number 11 overall. That's what I think.
They really want him.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh, that's really interesting because I've got the Giants taking a different wide receiver. They're going to be selecting Jalen Waddle, so the other Alabama wide receiver.
Thank God we're out of sabotages.
You know what this means? Is I get to make my New York Giants pick without any threat of sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I got to make my Bears pick.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I like both your picks. We could definitely use a wide receiver. I mean, but is it a need? No. I like your original pick, JJ, because we could always use some offensive line help. But I'm going to have them doing something that I have been begging them to do for years, and that's draft a middle linebacker high in a draft that has true talent that could change our defense from good to great. And they are taking Micah Parsons.
Ooh,
Wow.
I have been every year they get destroyed over the middle of the field. Their linebackers have just never had it. And he's good in coverage. He can rush the passer. He's just all around a good linebacker. And if the freaking Cowboys are getting Kyle Pitts, we're going to need a little something in the middle of the field.
I like that for the Giants.
It's going to be fun to see.
It's really going to suck that I'm going to like have these picks right and these sabotages are going to cost me like 4 correct picks.
Probably.
And if I win this after getting sabotaged twice, and I'm sure I'm going to get screwed over the next one too, you all suck.
Well, we don't need to sabotage Ron because he's sabotaging himself. So got to give him to someone else.
What? Okay,
All
I
right.
had one iffy pick so far.
Anyway, on to Ryan.
All right, Ryan, go.
All right. So I also think that the Giants, they added some weapons. I think they're going to look on the defensive side, and I have them taking Micah Parsons here as well.
I like it.
Bam.
All right, number 12, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles.
With no more threats of sabotages.
No more threats of sabotage, so we should be able to get the next couple picks.
All right.
So,
5 left.
Breathe and recover, JJ.
yeah, so I had them taking Devontae Smith, but I had to use him for the pick before. Just thinking on my feet. So I will say that they're going to take the other Alabama wide receiver. And we're going to have 3 consecutive Crimson Tide players taken in a row, and Surtain, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. Eagles have no weapons. They're going to trade Zach Ertz. They have Jalen Reagor, but he didn't really show all that much his rookie year. I still think he has potential, but they need more weapons for sure. So their offensive line's coming back healthier. I think they're going to add a weapon here, and I got them taking Jalen Waddle.
All right, we're going to continue the parade of Alabama players, and we're going to go with the first defensive player off my board on my draft. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to select Patrick Surtain, cornerback from Alabama.
Nice, and we'll just keep this going because I agree with everything that JJ said. So, but I am going to give them Devonta Smith.
Yep, I'm giving them Devonta Smith as well.
Stop copying me, Ryan.
Ryan's making my job easy,
That's what I'm here for, JJ.
except with your goddamn sabotage.
You did it to me first.
You can't have Justin Fields at 9. It's just no.
Later than 9, no, that's fine.
Yes.
I'm so curious where Ryan's going to have him go now.
I know, right? He's going to be scratching his head all day at work tomorrow. Where am I going to put it?
He's just going to forget about him and just have him like left out of the first round.
Taking Aaron Rodgers fall all the way to like 30 something. All right. 13th on the board is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yep.
JJ.
Yeah, so Chargers are pretty set offensively. They could add a lineman here. That wouldn't surprise me to protect Herbert, but they're pretty set at receiver. They did trade away Hunter Henry, but no tight end here warrants a pick at 13. So I think they go defense. they just lost. My goodness, who did they lose? What is that pass rusher's name?
Tyrod Taylor.
No,
No, they
I'm
lost him to
terrible.
a needle.
I'm terrible, and I should know this. I can. I'm gonna look it up after. I'll
Melvin
come back to it.
Melvin Ingram.
Yes, Melvin Ingram. My goodness, Melvin Ingram has left the building, so they need another rusher to go with Joey Bosa. And I think Parsons, though he could play backer like Ron wants him to in the middle of the Giants defense, I think he may be drafted as an edge rusher. And I think that's what the Chargers are going to do. Add Parsons to rush with Bosa and have one of the best young pass rushes in the league, which is obviously important in this game with as prolific of a passer as they have in their division. So Micah Parsons, Penn State for the Chargers.
I like it.
JJ, well, you had a lot of good points there. The Chargers last year drafted an incredible young quarterback by the name of Justin Herbert.
Yes,
So what I think they're going to do here is try to protect him, and what they're going to do is stay on the West Coast and bring in a certain USC offensive tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker, to protect their young quarterback and their franchise.
Makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see that. I think it's O-line or rush, but
Right. Plus, they have a lot of familiarity with him being so close, probably. So I imagine their scouts have seen him play a lot.
very true.
I agree with Joe, as in they are going to take an offensive lineman. I've got them taking Rashawn Slater. Same thing, protecting their young investment. They don't want to have a Joe Burrow like end to a season, so they're going to do their best to keep him upright.
Don't mind me. I'm just ruining
searching.
everything here.
He's somewhere.
Joe had him somewhere.
I had him down pretty far. So
There he is.
Rashawn Slater.
Same thing. You got to protect the franchise quarterback, but I have them going with Christian Darrisaw,
Ooh.
taking him at pick number 13.
That's quite a contrasting debate that we have there. So JJ's got him picking a defensive player because they need to replace their linebacker. And then everyone else has got them protecting their franchise. So that'll be an interesting thing to pay attention to draft night.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably right. I think Parsons is really talented, and I just think
A lot of people are saying he's being really overlooked in this draft
mhm.
for the amount of talent he actually has.
Yeah. I mean, he had a really good pro day, and I liked his interview. And
Yeah, he had a really good pro day. All right. Pick number 14, the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock.
Minnesota Vikings. I have them taking Jalen Phillips, defensive end out of Miami. On a lot of people's boards, he is the top-rated edge rusher. He's an absolute savage. I think they want to pair him with Daniil Hunter. They're set at their skill positions on offense. They have their young tight end they drafted a couple years ago. They got Jefferson. They got Thielen. They got Dalvin Cook. So I think that they're going to go defense and try and get their defense back to that top 5, top 10 form. And they're going to draft one of the best edge rushers in the class, and Jalen Phillips.
JJ, I would argue that I think he might be the best edge rusher in this class. I've also got him going to the Minnesota Vikings. They really need an edge rusher, and he's the perfect fit for them.
Yeah. It's not good for old Andy Dalton.
I like it. Run it across the board.
There you go.
Jalen Phillips, edge rusher.
I have the Vikings also taking the edge rusher, but I have them taking Kwity Paye in this position.
Interesting.
Yeah, most boards, I think it's either Kwity Paye or Phillips that's at the top here.
Kwity, I think.
Jokes on all of us. It's going to be Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
All right, we'll move through that one pretty quickly.
Kwity Paye.
Now on the clock, it is the New England Patriots for some people.
And I have Kwity Paye being selected here. There's a solid chance that the Patriots trade up for a QB with as aggressive as Billy B has been this offseason. But if they don't, he's really good at building a defense. And I think some edge rushing wouldn't hurt. So I've got the top 2 edge rushers, in my opinion, in the draft here going 14-15. And I think Billy B bolsters the defense. What do you got, Joe?
You know what's really interesting about this pick that originally belonged to New England was Tom Brady was a Michigan quarterback. So with this trade, this pick that they used to move up to take their new quarterback in Justin Fields, the Carolina Panthers are also going to take Kwity Paye, a Michigan player.
All right, this is getting out of hand. All right. So another Kwity Paye.
Yes,
Ron?
sir.
All right. Not to be a pain right in the butt. Can I see my players? Did I have them trade up? I don't think I did.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
No, you did not.
No, I did not. Okay, yeah. They were able to wait and they got the player they wanted. They are taking Mac Jones.
Ooh. You have him falling all the way to 15, huh?
Yep. Well, I thought about having him traded up to the Lions, but I was looking after the Lions because the Denver Broncos already had traded up. There wasn't anyone after the Lions that needed a quarterback.
So let's ask the New England fan, Ryan, not what you think your team's going to do, but who would you rather have, Mac Jones or Justin Fields?
Ooh. I think Mac Jones. I think he's more of that pocket quarterback that Bill Belichick and Josh McDermott are used to dealing with. So I think they would be better with Mac Jones.
Not to mention they didn't have to give anything up. He fell to them. I think that would be their perfect scenario right there.
It makes it a real fun year for like 3 of us because 3 of us have teams that are hunting for quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
I mean, although the Giants I think should be hunting for one, but I don't think they will be.
I got to see one more year of it.
Yeah. If he doesn't perform this year, they did what they needed to do. They'll be searching next year
for a new quarterback and GM.
Probably. And maybe head coach. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
We'll see. We'll see how the team actually performs. All right, Ryan, this is your team.
All right. So I had the
team
Patriots swapping pits with the Falcons here.
Yep.
So the Falcons, they decided we have Matt Ryan. We can wait another year before we get a quarterback. So we'll trade down. But in a shocking turn of events, Justin Fields falls all the way to number 15. And the Falcons get their replacement for Matt Ryan anyway, with gaining some picks in the process. So the Falcons take Justin Fields here. And Falcons fans go crazy.
GM of the year.
That would be something.
That'd be like some draft day stuff.
Right.
Yes, it would.
All right. And we are on the final pick that we are doing tonight. Right. We're only going to 16.
Yes.
All right. JJ's like, yes, I want to go. The Arizona Cardinals. JJ, you were on the clock. Who do you got him selecting?
I got him taking Caleb Farley. Before the injury concerns, he was probably the number 1 cornerback. I keep doing that tonight. The cornerback in the class. Really talented kid. Just like Joe said, he's got a hurt back, and he's being monitored closely. But I think he's really talented. Plays in that division with all those Rams receivers with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. The Cardinals do. So they had Patrick Peterson, who used to be the cheat code for locking down DK Metcalf, but he obviously left and went to the Vikings.
That's true.
So I think they're going to try and replace him, and they're going to take Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
JJ is right about them trying to replace him, but it's going to be with a different quarterback, J.C. Horn from South Carolina.
You just did it too.
Yeah.
Cornerback J.C. Horn from South Carolina.
There we go.
You
And
proud
you
of
can
me?
run that right across to my pick also, because I completely agree.
All right.
J.C. Horn.
As we talked about at the start of the episode, the Cardinals added a running back during this offseason. I see them trying to make that as successful as possible, boosting their O-line here, and I have them taking Elijah Vera Tucker.
That's a good pick.
Yep.
Pretty sure they'd be happy with that.
And they traded for Hudson in the offseason, so that'd be a pretty vast improvement in the interior of their line.
Yeah.
All right.
You're getting pretty quick at that Excel work over there, JJ.
You know,
He's gonna be a magician from that tomorrow.
I like how
I-
everything's color coded. Like,
I made it pretty.
He took some time. I like it.
yeah,
You know, that'd be pretty.
pretty nice
All
draft
right.
board we got here, boys.
So that was. Do we want to run through them real quick, JJ?
Yeah, I guess everyone can run through their picks
Okay.
and in the final rundown here. So I had the Jaguars taking Trevor Lawrence, Jets, Zach Wilson, 49ers, Trey Lance, Broncos trading up to 4, drafting Justin Fields, Bengals taking Penny Sewell. I was sabotaged at 6, so I was forced to take Jamar Chase for the Dolphins. 7, the Lions, I have taken Kyle Pitts, which doesn't make sense, but that damn sabotage. 8, I have the Bears trading up, selecting Mac Jones out of Alabama from the Panthers. At 9, I have the Falcons holding the pick and selecting J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. 10, Cowboys draft Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Alabama. 11, Giants, Devontae Smith, Alabama. 12, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. Chargers, Micah Parsons, Penn State, linebacker. 14, Vikings, Jalen Phillips. 15, Patriots, Kwity Paye. And 16, the Cardinals taking Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech.
All right, and on the winning board for this whole thing, I've got the Bengals selecting Trevor Lawrence. I've got the Jets.
Oh,
Did I just say the Bengals? That's because you've got it
Sure
highlighted.
did.
You've got it highlighted in orange. It confused me. I mean the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Trevor Lawrence. I've got the Jets selecting Zach Wilson. The 49ers selecting Mac Jones. The Patriots in a trade up selecting Justin Fields. The Broncos in a trade up selecting Trey Lance. So that's 5 quarterbacks in the top 5. The Dolphins selecting Jamar Chase. And then I believe I had a sabotage here. So I've got Devontae Smith being selected by Lions at that pick. And then to piss Ron off, I've got the Dallas Cowboys trading up with the Panthers to select Kyle Pitts to ruin his sabotage. Then I've got the Bengals thinking outside the box and not selecting the guy that sat out all year with Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. At 10, I've got Penny Sewell being selected by the Panthers. I've got the Giants selecting Jalen Waddle. The Eagles selecting Patrick Surtain from Alabama. The Los Angeles Chargers with my favorite pick of the night, picking Elijah Vera Tucker. The Vikings picking Jalen Phillips, edge from Miami. The Falcons selecting Kwity Paye, the kid from Michigan. And then the Cardinals rounding off my top 16 with J.C. Horn.
All righty.
Oh,
So to start, I got same as everybody else. Trevor Lawrence to Jaguars, Zach Wilson to the Jets. Then I got Trey Lance to the 49ers. The Broncos trade up to 4 for Justin Fields.
Fields.
You wrote Field. I'm just reading.
I know.
I'm
Ron Burgundy.
number 5. I'm Ron Burgundy. Number 5, the Bengals take left tackle Penei Sewell. Number 6 was the
Lions.
Dolphins. Dolphins taking Jamar Chase. Number 7 is the Lions taking Caleb Farley.
Being the Cowboys.
No. Number 8 is the Carolina Panthers getting Kyle Pitts. Number 9 is the Falcons taking Trevon Moehrig, the crazy one of the draft. Number 10 is that's the Cowboys taking Patrick Surtain. Number 11, the Giants taking Micah Parsons. Number 12, the Eagles taking Devonta Smith. Number 13 is Chargers taking Rashawn Slater. Number 14 is the Vikings taking Jalen Phillips. Number 15, the Patriots getting Mac Jones. And 16 is the Cardinals taking J.C. Horn. I did it.
And Ryan.
All right. And so I got the Jaguars in a shocking pick of the night, taking Trevor Lawrence. The Jets going with Zach Wilson. 49ers taking Mac Jones. I have the Patriots trading up to number 4 and selecting Trey Lance. Got the Bengals picking Penei Sewell. The Dolphins taking Kyle Pitts. Got the Lions taking Jamar Chase. The Panthers take Rashawn Slater. The Broncos, I originally had taking Justin Fields, so I was rudely sabotaged. And in which case, they then take J.C. Horn. I got the Cowboys selecting Patrick Surtain. I got the Giants taking Micah Parsons. The Eagles taking Devontae Smith. The Chargers taking Christian Darrisaw. Vikings taking Kwity Paye. The Falcons after Justin Fields, and it literally falls all the way to number 15. And then I have the Cardinals taking Elijah Vera Tucker.
Beautiful.
That was fun, boys.
I love the Justin Fields falling all the way to 15 because JJ didn't want him falling to 9.
Could you guys imagine if that's what happens? Like if the Falcons traded out of that all the way down to 15 and still got like
Yeah.
I'll shotgun 4 consecutive beers.
Hold on. So we've got JJ shotgunning 3 for a safety at 9, and then 4 consecutive beers if it's Justin Fields at 15.
Yeah. He could be hammered inside the top 20.
Doable.
he'll be napping by number 25.
He won't even see the Bears pick.
It's probably not much to watch there, so I probably won't miss much.
Oh,
Probably
is-
just more
are you-
disappointment.
Are you sure about that? Because in my mock draft, you do something pretty interesting with your pick.
Can only punter, kicker.
It's not
Kicker,
safety.
so you don't double doink. All right. So that was our first half of our mock draft. We will be doing the next half tomorrow night. Make sure you come back for that one. It'll be posted. It'll probably drop on 6 a.m. on Wednesday. This one will obviously when you're listening to it, which is Tuesday. I'm a really
Good take.
host, guys. Thank you for listening. Check out our Instagram. The fabulous Joe McCann just did some amazing things with it. It is fancy, new, and sparkly. I like it.
At Garbage Time Fantasy Football.
Yeah, definitely with
At
the tip
garbage.
they put on there. So let me explain that really quick before we get out of here, and then I'll cue the music. So I've got about a minute clips on it from previous episodes that we had, and then we'll be putting newer ones on there of takes that we all have, things that we're going to say, so everyone can hold us to it. So you can message us on Garbage Time Fantasy Football, and we'll answer those questions. You can watch those funny takes, and I'm sure there'll be some from this episode coming up too. So here's that music.
You sure?
See, I got it. Boom.